You know, it's crazy. In Ontario, it would appear by the most recent numbers that we have hit the most houses listed for sale in the history of the GTA. Like, it's the most there's ever been, ever, in history. Like, that's a lot of stuff has happened over the years, right? There's COVID, great financial crisis. But yeah, most listings, active listings in forever. So like, obviously it breaks down like this. I mean, a bunch of those are condos, and condos in all over Southern Ontario. And obviously they're very, very slow to sell. And there's more listings coming on every day because there's new pre-construction condo projects completing every day, not every day, but every month. And just keeps adding to people who want to sell them. There's also a bunch of hidden listings that aren't even listings, but they're still condos that are trying to be sold by privately and off market by developers who were stuck with a bunch of condos when people refused to close. And the dog crates are very, very hard to sell. So yeah, it piles up. But there's other types of houses for sale too. There's townhouses and semis and single family. Obviously, very slow. Now, I'm not suggesting there's no sales. That's crazy. There's always some sales. People have to do things, have to sell or buy. But it's pockets and it's pricing. So some places are in very, very bad shape. Like the cottages are in terrible shape. Then there's like far reaches of the GTA. The places where the prices went up the most have come down the most, and those people are kind of stuck, so they have to get a certain price. If they can't get it, it's hard to sell. And it's all super slow. The buyers are super cautious. It has to be priced correctly. Apparently, like 88% of all the homes sold in Ontario last month were sold below ask. So, that's a thing. Look, I get it. I'm going to have some comments where people are saying, no, you're wrong. I mean, my neighbor in Kingston, they sold in a week. Yeah, you're wrong. It's busy. Yeah, no, the numbers are very, very clear. The numbers don't lie. The numbers are the numbers. It's very slow, really slow to sell. And again, if it's the perfect street, sought after street, perfect area, perfect product, semi-detached in 416 core, just say north of Bloor, it's going to sell. Just price it correctly. It's sell because some people have been waiting to buy there for years and months. And, there's just those hot pockets in any kind of real estate market. But overall, screwed. Okay. Like very, very hard to sell. Now, people keep saying, well, what's going to turn it around, Ron? Is it going to be the fall will be better or the spring will be better? Okay. I don't really know, but I can actually tell you two things that would help to increase housing sales in Ontario, all over Ontario, and would also help in BC because BC is getting pretty slow. So like Ontario crushed, BC slowing down. It's straightforward. So I know what everybody wants to say. There'd be a bunch of comments like, just reduce the prices 50%, Ron, and that'll be great. We'll buy them at 50% off. Okay, but that may not happen. It may. Very doubtful. Balance of probabilities says that won't happen. 50% drop in price. No, it would work, but I can't use that as a rational idea. Let's talk about two things that are sort of in the universe of possible that would greatly help. Okay, massive rate reductions by the Bank of Canada. If you drop the Bank of Canada rate by 5 cuts, you drop it 1.25%. There's going to be some more action. Yeah. Now, our Bank of Canada could just go completely batshit crazy and say, we're also going to do quantitative easing again. We're going to bring down bond yields artificially and therefore bring down fixed rate mortgages artificially because we want to do that. We want to stimulate that market. So that's sometimes people refer to that as the bailout. Okay. The government bails out the housing market by radically reducing mortgage rates and therefore stimulating demand significantly. Now, that's not a strong possibility, but it's not impossible. It's just not impossible. So the balance of probabilities are against it, but it's not like it's maybe like 1 in 5. There's maybe a 20% chance, 15% chance of it happening. So that could theoretically happen, but that's a method that would stimulate house sales for sure. What's the other one? There's number 2. What could help us out? Really straightforward. A solid, real treaty with Trump, a trade agreement with Trump would just radically improve things. Now, it wouldn't fix everything, but and it's not like all of a sudden all the houses that are offered for sale will sell. They won't. But if the borrowers believed and people believed that, okay, all of that stuff about tariffs is gone. So what would that treaty look like? It would look like maybe something miraculous like, okay, here's a proposition that's been floated last week that Canada, the Prime Minister would give Trump right of first refusal on all resources that can become available, that the United States has right of first refusal. What's that mean? You put in, you're building a new oil pipeline, the Americans get the first shot at the product. You're building a mine for critical minerals, Americans get first shot. They have first bid. Who knows? Maybe it's fresh water. You want to develop a pipeline out of one of the Great Lakes? Sure, no problem. We'll change that because there is a treaty about that. We'll change that treaty and you can start sucking the water out of the Great Lakes. I don't know exactly what it means, but it means something that will make President Trump happy, and therefore he will say, okay, we're going to fix all this tariff stuff. Now, will that be perfect, even with the giveaway of the resources? I don't know. Maybe there's going to be some smaller tariffs. Certainly, it's relieving the hopeless tariffs. It's relieving 50% on steel, so the steel industry can come back. It's fixing the aluminum industry, and some kind of rational agreement on cars and car parts, so that industry can sort of come to life again, because it's sort of gradually dying right now before our eyes. So those two things, massive rate reduction, complete fix for the Trump tariff threat, those two things could get house prices going again. House sales, I don't guarantee prices. I'm not really guaranteeing prices, but certainly it would get more action into the housing market. So those are your two solutions. It's unknown whether either of them will happen. I know a bunch of comments are going to say, you're wrong, it's impossible, neither one, you're crazy, prices go down. Okay, but sometimes people say, Ron, you only give crying and bitching and moaning, give some answers. There are some answers.